As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, YouTube. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. It's going to be a great day. We are a week away from the prayer vigil. We are a week away. It feels like, it just doesn't seem like it's been, I think when we started this, it was 50 days ago, and we're down to the last 7. It's just hard to believe. I am excited that, we're going to get to see the fruits of all of our labor. And, I really do want this to be an amazing event for summer and for law enforcement. I really believe that, this is going to tamper down a lot of, I'm hoping, a lot of the stuff, and it's just going to be a very, very good event. Hopefully everything works out. I kind of expect to have some technical issues. As I said, nothing, no matter how much energy you put into something, it's not going to go 100% perfect. So we've got contingencies in place for those things. I got to remember to get a hold of Justice for All about the big card. I forgot about calling him. So I'm going to have to call him sometime today. I still got to call Cher. These days just go by and by. We're probably not even going to get to the interview until after the vigil, when my life just kind of slows down a little bit. So we'll see, but we're still working on a lot of stuff. I promise you that. Good morning, Karen. Axel, it's nice to see you here this morning. Tammy, Sage, Bullhorn Betty is present, sending you good karma. Everybody could use a little good karma. Thank you so much. Thank you. Who else do we have? Jackie Blue, nice to see you. How that rhymes. Sorry. Tammy, it's nice to see you. She says, Utah is pretty quiet. Axel, looks like there's some issues going on with you. Wake up with a full yard of trees that fell. What in the world happened? Good morning, cool gamer. Connie Branch, good morning. Amanda, girls, nails out. Love it. Good morning. Smiley Story World, nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Buttercup? Good morning to you. Deb, good morning to you. Crystal, oops, it popped up on me. Chadwell, good morning. Cindy S. Sailor 75. Kathy Burke, hello from Maine. Well, hello from Florida. Hello from Florida. Sage says, I can't believe it's almost been a year already. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Good morning, Emma, our lovely Emma. Sepsis kills. We are so happy to have you here. Every morning that you come here, we are very blessed to have you here. So good morning to you from across the pond. Harley's World, good morning. Mine Theirs, I love it. Good morning. Burlington Park, good morning from Johnson City, Tennessee. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Jacqueline Snowden, nice to see you. Ditching, Bitching, and True Crime. Still love that name. I gotta say, I still love that name. Mary J., good morning. Pink Phoenix got to bless us with her presence this morning. It's nice to see you, Pink. You know, that's one of my most favorite artists of all times is Pink. I gotta tell you. She's my all-time favorite. I love just about there was one album that I wasn't crazy about any of, I can't remember which one it was, but there was one album I wasn't crazy with any of her other songs. There was just one song on there. I bought the entire CD instead of downloading just the one song, but I bought the entire CD to listen to one song in my car. And of course it was on repeat. Lana, is it Lana? Lanana? Hopefully I say it right. Lana. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I apologize. Bonnie's Journey. I love that too. And good. Cindy, yes. Pink is awesome. Yes, she is. I love her songs. And I was actually going through some, as many of you guys know, I'm not like this huge major techie person. And I came across, I'm playing, because I've been on for 6 months, but I have never ran a live from YouTube. It's always been from StreamYard since almost out the gate. I have been a StreamYard live user. It just works well for me. But I was in the audio studio of YouTube. And I was actually kind of surprised, but they have this whole audio library. Like, I didn't know, right? So, call me stupid. I don't know. I don't know about all this techie stuff, right? I'm still getting my feet wet. And I came across this and I found this song. Like I was listening to, thank you, Love Bug. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I came across this song, and I came across two, but this is one because we wake up together. And so I want to play this for you guys. Let me see if I can turn this on without turning this on. There we go. I want you guys to hear this. I thought it was kind of, hip. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm only going to play a little bit.
Wake up, brother, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, you're so good, so full of you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do it.
Right?
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Maybe I should change my entire intro and put this song on.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
So you know what? When I was listening to it this morning, guess what? I knew today was going to be a good day, right? Right? This is all in our audio library. Like I didn't even know. And there was another one that I liked too.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go,
right?
Go, 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 go.
So I was just impressed. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this new revelation I've got with this music and and all this stuff. Yeah, all this stuff on this audio library that I can use without being copyright. I was none the wiser. I was none the wiser. But I'm thinking, like, this would be a pretty good intro starting in.
Step one, wake up, brother, gonna rise with the sun.
Right?
Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three,
Might have to redo the whole intro because I found this song. I like this song.
everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
So we're going to wake up and have a great day this Wednesday because we're in a hump day. We're sliding into this wonderful weekend, right? And we all got great things to do. Guess what I get to do? I get to go. My best friend's granddaughter finally made it to her 18th birthday. We are so proud of her. We are so proud of everything she's been able to accomplish. I have known this child since she was probably about 3 or 4 years old. And she is turning 18. It makes me feel old. Okay, I got to be honest with you. And I may have known her since she was younger. I don't recall. They live behind my house that I purchased a house. My very first house I purchased when I was 24 years old. And I was behind this woman. Her and I have to be honest, when I first moved in, did not get along. And it's so funny how that works. And we ended up becoming besties. We did literally every single thing together. Literally everything together. It's amazing. So that's what I'm doing Friday. And I'm going to go hang out with them. They have a beautiful event for her 18th birthday. And I think it's doubling possibly as her graduation party as well. But couldn't be any happier for her. I wish I could give her a public congratulations. But this day and age on YouTube, you can't do anything like that because of horrible people. And one that I'm sure just got kicked out of here. But we're so happy and so blessed, to have our family and our family. And I'm saying that family, the friends that are family, the family we get to choose. Like, we have a whole family we don't get to choose. And then we have our family that we get to choose, which is our friend's family, right? And so we're very thankful for her. She knows who I'm talking about. So I guess at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? She knows who I'm talking about. If she gets to watch this live, she knows I'm sending her a bunch of love. And I'm so, so proud of her. I couldn't be any more proud of her than I am right now. She's almost like a niece to me, right? She's family to me. Don't be screwing with my babies, right? Don't be screwing with my babies. So just very pleased, very blessed. I wish I could show photos. I wish I could be more personal. But as you know, the streets of YouTube are brutal, especially for any type of happiness you could possibly have, right? They try to suck that right away. Yes, good for her. Good for her. And as many know, school this day and age is not easy. When I was going to school, we got picked on a little bit here and there, but it really wasn't that bad. This day and age, with the social media and all this stuff, it's brutal. These children are brutal, and I would like to say we don't know where it comes from, but we kind of do, right? Good morning, Sonia. It's nice to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sonia says, good morning, Andrea. And sweet. So, we've been hearing a lot of stuff on the streets of YouTube about this grand jury, right? There's a grand jury that met with June 1st, and somebody went on and stated all the names that was part of this grand jury of June 1st. And it's like, I didn't hear about it. Remember when the first grand jury, when people started getting the summonses to attend for the grand jury back in April, we were all just staring at it, reading it, trying to find out, did it have anything to do with Summer Wells? We didn't believe it did, but we didn't know. So we were just just following every little bit of crumbs that could tell us what this grand jury was impaneled for, right? But we knew that the summonses had gone out to the people in and around the area, telling them they needed to be at the courthouse or blah, 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 blah. You know, if anybody's had jury duty, it's similar to that. So long story short, it wasn't for Summer Wells. We knew that. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff started going around YouTube about another grand jury was impaneled on June 1st. And it's like, we heard about the first one. Why has nobody heard about this June 1st one? There was no article from the news organizations, no anything. And everybody, even in that area, is following this case very attentively and very closely. And so I was very curious as to why I couldn't find anything online about this grand jury. You know, we heard about the first one. Why not this one, right? In Ohio, Monday, anyone can open carry. Oh, nice. Nice. There's nothing better than good people with the right tools to take on bad people with. And we'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into a huge debate on, you know, what is going on in the world with our society and why we're facing this so often here anymore. And it's weird to me that, you know, this is what gets me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But what gets me is, why does this always seem to happen really close to the voting? It's like it's weird. Do people just get triggered around the time we're all supposed to be voting for people in office? I mean, what is it that keeps making this stuff happen? It was like, you know, we didn't hear anything about anything. And then boom, it's like boom, 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 as we're approaching the 2022 elections. So, I mean, it's just, that could be just my analogy of it. I don't know. It seems awfully funny to me. It seems awfully funny. So as we've been kind of incorporating the language of letting go, and it's because I just find the messaging so empowering, and I really think it sets the tone for our day. Many of you guys know I'm all about how the tone is set for people's day, because when you first wake up, whatever you're feeling kind of carries through the day. So if you wake up and you're feeling great, that greatness kind of carries you through the day, at least for me. Whenever I always told people, you know, don't pile, you know, when I was at the office job, don't pile all this stuff on me first thing in the morning. You know, come in and say good morning, you know, set the tone for the day. You know, you got somebody coming in screaming at you first thing when you walk into the door. It really sets the tone for the day. Now you're in a ticked off mood and it sticks with you. It just doesn't, it's not like it's there for 5 minutes and goes away. You know, it sticks with you. So I always believe setting the tone, setting a positive tone, will help the audience for the rest of their day. I really, truly believe that. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be reading this, because I think the messaging is good. And the messaging was great for May. Actually, I find the messaging in here great for every day. I do. That's why I've been reading this book for so long. But this is for June 8th. It's letting go of judgments. Pretty interesting, right? Letting go of judgments. We can't relax when we're being judgmental. As soon as we decide that things or situations is either good or bad, we find ourselves in a situation of having to do something about it. For example, if someone is good, we begin to compare ourselves to that person. Am I better or worse? What can I do to improve? Those are great questions. I mean, great questions for you to say every day to yourself, right? How can I improve? If we decide that things are bad, or that a thing is bad, then our conscience tells us that we must try to get rid of it. Either way, we get so busy thinking about our judgments and allowing our minds to create scenarios that we cannot relax or enjoy things the way they are. Drop your judgmental mind today and relax. If blessings are good or good people have come into your life, let them be. You do not have to be better or worse than they are. If a thing is damaging or hurtful to you, you will know that you can deal. If a thing is damaging or hurtful to you, you will know that, and you can deal with that when the time comes. Be aware of people and things in your real life. Relax. Enjoy them without passing judgment on them. God helped me learn to enjoy people and experiences in my life. I love that. I love that. Got tongue-tied on a few words, but I do love that. And one of my friends just called, so let me just text him and let him know I'm on live. And we'll call you back. So a situation, actually, that just reminded me of a situation that happened that I'm pretty appalled with in my county. I haven't got a lot of information on it. I'm actually working right now to get information on it, but it is very upsetting to me. And I'm gonna let you know what it is. And it's it leans a little bit to my political endeavors and things of that nature, which I try to keep off here. But this goes right to the heart of the work that we do here on this channel. So I got wind yesterday that one of our public safety director, he kind of oversees 911, oversees this, oversees that. He was the gentleman that, during the whole 2020 era, trying to, I don't like saying the C word, but, during that whole entire era with all this stuff, he was kind of driving the ship, and him and I butted heads quite a bit. Well, apparently one of our deputy administrative directors had a domestic dispute. I guess his girlfriend or significant other was calling the law on him. And apparently this deputy director ended up calling our public safety director to kind of intervene, since he oversees some aspects of the 911 dispatch and employees and things of that nature. And so he was actually trying to have a benefit, an advantage over a woman that could have very well been being injured by this deputy director. I don't know the situation, but I don't understand why our public safety director is intervening in a domestic situation that only law enforcement should be involved in. It is something that I just do not agree with. It's, I don't know what situation's going on inside their home, but I don't care if you're a county employee or not, you do not get a benefit over another person, especially a woman that may be being abused at home. Many of you guys know my position on that. I am absolutely against domestic violence. And I think it's disgusting that anybody would be calling for a favor from my county so they're not held responsible for their actions. Now, do I know that what is being said is true as far as the abuse at that home? I do not. That's why it's not my business. It's for law enforcement. And it's not for our county employees to get involved in a domestic private situation. That is what law enforcement is for. And I don't want any county employees to have an advantage because they're buddy-buddy with somebody that can help them with their situation. Sorry. So I sent a letter to our county demanding, let me see if I can get this down, demanding this situation be immediately investigated. I'll read the letter I sent over there to them. I'm going to leave the names out of it because that's not the reason for this. I don't want to dox people or embarrass people or cause this. Let's see here. Hi, board. I heard alarming information about blank, our deputy county administrator. Why would blank call blank on a domestic dispute? This is a matter for law enforcement. It is my belief that blank used his position to give blank an advantage in a domestic dispute. As an advocate against domestic violence, I want an immediate investigation into this serious matter. please confirm receipt of this email. So that is what I did. I want to make sure that women in this area, this is, we don't give advantages over things. We just don't. Let the courts and the law enforcement work it out. That's what has to be done. It's had to be done for me. You know what? We sat back and let law enforcement do their job, and positive results come from allowing things to work the way that they're supposed to work. And so I'm hopefully they're taking this seriously. They're going to do an investigation. We'll see. I'm going to start. I've been going back to the BOCC meetings. I haven't been as regular as I used to be. So that's got to start taking top priority here in the near future, because stuff like this, I want answers to that. And you don't get answers to stuff like this unless you go and make it a point every week to find out more, to find out, has this been investigated, right? When you become the pimple on the butt of the government, you'll find that things do start moving along. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But this stuff happens all over the country. This is not just here for Manatee County. But I digress. So getting on with our morning chat, we're all looking at this case, and we're hearing, and I've looked, I've got 2 of them popped up. We're going to look at the videos, but there are 2 videos. And JLR, I'm sorry, but I had to pull you in because you're the one that's been discussing this, so I'm stealing your content. I'm sorry, friend, but I've got to borrow you. So hopefully he doesn't have a problem with it. One is from several days ago. I think they're both from several days. I'm sure he's fine with it. I haven't asked him his permission. Oh, Jams TV, what are you still doing up? What are you still doing up? It's nice to see you. So, what is a grand jury, and what is all this information we're hearing on the web? Is it true? Is it true? I'm not going to give you the answer until we watch these clips, but you might be surprised. It's probably not what you think. So I'm going to go ahead and start with JLR and just get his idea, and then we're going to move over to something else. Actually, I got 2 videos from him back to back.
Hey, grand jury. The grand jury is out there. Grand jury is investigating the Summer Wells case, but we have not heard that. And we haven't heard from any of the participants, the people centered around this case, whether it's coworkers of Don, the church people, Hunter's family, Hunter, anyone saying anything about subpoenas or them having to go testify in front of the grand jury. We haven't heard none of that. So it makes me believe that as of right now, we're approaching 1 year since Summer Wells went missing, that a grand jury has not been impaneled in this case.
So, again, that's JLR. He does a lot. And I got to say, he really does try to get to the bottom of stuff. So he'll make the phone calls. I try to make the phone calls myself. But sometimes, good morning. You can't sleep. Aw, sorry about that. It's probably all the fun you guys were having last night. I found the YouTube audio library. I was playing some stuff. I may have to redo my intro. I may have to redo my intro because I like another song. It was, I like my heavy metal coming in the morning, but I really do like this other song. It's I don't know. I just like it. I'm gonna play around with it today. Well, after I do my domestic duties, mowing the yard, cleaning the house, folding the laundry, putting it away, all that good stuff. Nobody comes here and does that for me. So I got domestic stuff on the agenda for today. But it's nice that you stopped by. I appreciate it. I felt like I walked into your chat and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I need to go to bed. Anyways. So, this is, JLR has a valid point. We haven't heard anybody in and around the Wells talk about having to come in, because a grand jury is not just somebody that looks at paperwork and says, okay, we need to indict them. I mean, they hear testimony. They hear from the witnesses. It's really a one-sided process because the defense doesn't get to come in. They don't get to argue their case as to why these things don't make sense. That's for the actual trial by jury or by judge. You can have one or the other. Not everybody wants to have their case heard in front of a jury. Why would you not want to have your case in front of a jury? Because sometimes there's technicalities that really a judge would be more inclined to resolve as opposed to 12 jurors. So there are some benefits in having a non-jury trial and having just a judge preside over that trial. Now, a capital case, you always want to have 12 jurors because you don't want one person deciding your fate. You just don't. So, we got some turtles in here. It's nice to see you guys. Love the support. Love the support. So, back with Jonathan, I want to hear some other things because he kind of goes into detail about these grand juries. And, I do believe his understanding and comprehension of the grand juries and how they're designed and how they work. I'm not sure if I'm at the right spot on here or not, but let's just go back and play just a little bit more. And then we're going to go over to another page that I do not agree with. And I'm going to explain why. Here shortly. Let's just see if he moves over to it or not. I don't know if he does. If he doesn't, then we'll just move on to the other video.
And, again, I just based off not having the body here, and it seems like Don and Candace Wells are not cooperating. I don't think they're going to arrest and then go to a grand jury for an indictment. I think a grand jury gets impaneled and then investigates the case and decides if charges are going to be brought up against Don and Candace Wells until a body is found.
So thank you, JLR, for your commentary on that. Now we're going to go over here to, I'm still working with this MacBook Pro. So this is the second video that I saw that referred to the grand jury. There was one that came out and said, there was a grand jury impaneled on June 1st. There's going to be another one impaneled on August 15th. I know. I called, they told me, right? And so I was like, I'm not sure about that. And you're going to see why here in just a second. Let's just go ahead and play this. Let's see if I can get it up. I guess this is only 9 minutes. So let me just see what we can get.
Welcome into Case in Point True Crime. I'm Jay, and they have published the names of 11 people that have been indicted so far by the grand jury that met June 1st in Hawkins County, Tennessee.
Okay, so that's about all I am going to play of this one. And this is why. Well, and I may play it just so you guys can hear the names that she's reading. She's saying, and even down here, it says indictments by the grand jury in Hawkins County that met June 1st. All the names that she listed were not from June 1st, but rather the indictments that were done in April. These are all the people that she listed in April, including the, I want to say chancellor, but I don't think it's a chancellor that they indicted, but it was another government employee that was found. Apparently he trained dogs and he had contraband on his person. When they found him, he's trying to say it was to help aid in the training of the dog for sniffing and stuff like that. But he didn't have the proper paperwork, nor did he follow the proper procedure in having that. Therefore, it was most likely not for the dogs, it's most likely for him, and he got caught with it. But he was also indicted there, and I can't remember what was his. He wasn't a chancellor. He was, I can't remember. But those were all the indictments in April, not June. I can't find one article about this June indictment. I can't. And I can't find any information around a potential August grand jury as well. And as we know, we did research back in April to find out when the grand jury had met last in Hawkins County. And it was what 2021 or something like that. I can't. Oh, Suzette, good morning. Good morning from Lecanto. Good morning from Manatee. Good morning. I've always thought it's somewhere between their homes where Don went that day for his alibi. And Tammy Larson, you're probably right. You're probably right. And I still never found that video. I didn't go through it because I was on to this new topic. I need to go back and find that video that Jonathan did. It was a video of this area that he thought, because he did the timeline where they were, dropping Hunter off, how they would go home. But then he went back and looked at the Chris McDonough interview, and something Hunter said in that interview about them going to a water park in Jonesboro, where it just so happened Don was working that day. So I'd like to see that map. And I haven't been able to reach out to him to get that, but I'd like to see that map again and show you guys where everybody was at that day. And I think somewhere in between those where they were, but it's a lot of area. I mean, think about it. Don was 45 minutes away from his home if he was at the job that he said he was at, which even that's kind of falling apart in the eyes of the public, because now we're hearing about this red truck down at the end of his driveway that morning that ran into a ditch or something, and there's some discrepancy on the time and the fact that he was in his white truck but ends up pulling up in a red Subaru that evening. There's just a lot of speculation that's going into that because we don't know, right? And then when we're left to our own devices, and we're left to our own brain, we can concoct a lot of stuff. Our brain is very creative. So it makes me wonder. That whole day is in question, and we still have no earthly idea whatsoever as to where she could be, or whether Don was truly at work that entire day. We had a caller yesterday that and we've all heard it before, that there was footers at one of the properties he was not, that he was working at, that was not poured. Could that be where Summer's final resting place? We don't know. We don't know. So here is another video. It's just a one, and then I want your guys' thoughts on if you guys believe this grand jury was even impaneled. I'm starting to believe it was not. Especially if all the information that's coming out as to who was charged in this, apparently 11 people were indicted. Well, that just seems funny because that's about the same as the grand jury that met in April. And the one that met in Hawkins County before that was like a year or so ago. So why would they have a grand jury impaneled this soon? Why wouldn't they have handled it all at that April one if they don't meet very often? Why would we have one in June and then another one August 15th? If we look at the past history of Hawkins County and realize that it was over a year before a grand jury was impaneled back in April, why would we now have a new one in June and another one scheduled in August? That's not adhering to the same patterns we've seen in previous grand juries, especially in Hawkins County. That's a great question. Nobody really knows, Pebbles. Nobody really knows, because that case is completely confidential. It is not even listed in any kind of records. And Don B actually called the Department of Children's Services in that area, right? And he was told that there is a gag order on the case. Nobody can even talk about whether the case exists. Yeah. But is that because what I'm finding is people are saying that there was a grand jury on June 1st, and they're saying that the indictments have already came out on June. They were making these things on June 6th and June 7th. But in April, when this happened, the indictments weren't listed until I think it was April 22nd, like 20 days later, was when we received the list of the people that were indicted. I'm not disputing that because they do have investigative grand juries, that could last for a year, or more. Good morning, Verbal. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure if this is one, but when the one grand jury that they impaneled back in April, it was plastered all over the news. This one was kind of secret, and then boom, a creator comes out and says that there was a grand jury impaneled, and it just doesn't follow with their normal pattern of doing these types of grand juries. I mean, it's possible, of course, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced it happened. Everybody do their own due diligence, but I'm just not convinced that a grand jury was impaneled on June 1st. Let's listen to what Jonathan says about this, because he did the legwork, just to let you know.
Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. I can report that no grand jury has been impaneled at this time in reference to the Summer Wells case. There is no grand jury yet. No grand jury was impaneled at the beginning of the month. No indictments are coming down anytime soon. Not happening yet, folks. There's people spreading around misinformation that a grand jury has been impaneled and they're about to hand down indictments. No, that's not true. We do have sources in the Rogersville area. No grand jury has been impaneled yet on the case. There are signs that can tell when a grand jury is impaneled, and we are actively monitoring that.
So there you go. That's and just to let you know, does that mean he's the tell-all? No, I just trust his. I know he picks up the phone. I know he actually does the legwork to find out, is it true, is it not true, and I trust when he says it's not true that it's not true. So and then of course with this elaborate video of the 9 indicted by grand jury, and it's indicating June 1st. And then I go back and review articles and realize that the people that are listed in this video of the 11 people indicted by the grand jury are actually the ones that were indicted back in April. It just makes me feel as if this whole entire grand jury scenario did not happen June 1st. The last time Hawkins County had a grand jury impaneled, it was over a year prior to the one in April. And it might have even went back to 2021. It might have been, or 2020 rather. It might have been 2 years. I can't recall. But I know it had been a long time. And then the time before that was over a year. So does that mean anything? It doesn't mean anything, because a grand jury is impaneled when a grand jury needs to be impaneled. So there is no set date or time in which that is done. If they need a grand jury impaneled, they are going to summons people for the grand jury. Good morning, Molly Brown. Good morning, Verbal Obsession. That the woman was lying. Okay, well, that's good. So we have more confirmation that the information coming down is not accurate. So, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you for your input. If a group of people showed up at the Wells property, it's likely a grand jury. They will go to the property. What is this? Hold on, let me read what Sage has to say. If a group of people showed up to the Wells property, it's like a grand jury. They will go to the property to get an idea if there was really an abduction. Oh, that's a good point. And there are some people that go on, that go and look at stuff. Because I got to tell you, looking at photos and videos of that property, it just, it doesn't do its justice. It doesn't do justice to the pitch. I guess it's the slope. You can't get a good angle to show the drop without being there with your own eyes. We tried when we were out there in December, and Olivia was preparing the video. That was the hardest part of the video, is trying to show the degree of that mountain and how it comes down. And no matter how we worked to try to get those angles, you couldn't see it. It wasn't as obvious as seeing it with your own eyes. I can't explain it other than that, but it was definitely weird. There are 226, actually 232 now in our chat room. Do not forget to hit the thumbs up button, please. Please hit the thumbs up button. So there is the other information. And then going back to the article, this was the article back in April of the people that were indicted, which was Courtney Starcher, 27, of Greenville. She was arrested at a 3 a.m. traffic stop that led on a high-speed chase that resulted in deputies recovering large amounts of pills and 4 pounds of meth. So, again, this is all the stuff I was listening to on, who was it? The Case in Point True Crime that said that these indictments were handed down on June 1st. Now, is it possible? Well, no, it wouldn't be possible, because this article this was from the Rogersville Review. This article was from April 22nd, 2022. So even if I was thinking kind of maybe they indicted the people and then they just went out and arrested the people on June 1st, but I don't think it's that at all. I personally just think somebody heard that there's a possibility of a grand jury and had to go out and be the first one to report it. Come to find out, the grand jury was never impaneled. And the second person that came out probably didn't realize this was from April and not June, and prepared a video. And so this is how the creation of this whole grand jury episode came about. But there was no grand jury on June 1st. So we want to make sure that we're clearing that up. Now, do I know for a fact that I did not make any calls. I did not make any calls to Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. I didn't make any calls to the Hawkins County Courthouse. I did not make any calls to either confirm this information or disprove this information. I did not do any of the legwork on that. I am looking purely at articles online and people that I know would have picked up the phone and called. So, yeah. Good morning, Team Rose. Nice to see you over here. Exactly. So I just don't, right now, I just don't see where this story is true, folks. I just don't see it. Now, could it be? Of course, it could be. I have done zero legwork to confirm one way or the other whether a grand jury convened on June 1st and whether another one's going to convene on August 15th. Somebody else put that out there on the YouTube streets. I'm just telling you from where I sit, this is not, they have not had 3 grand juries in Hawkins County in a matter of a few months of each other in the history of Hawkins County, to the best of my knowledge, is all I'm saying. That might be a problem, and you very well could be correct. I mean, there seems to be an element. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to be disrespectful to the people. I mean, you got to think there's some really good people that live out there that just want to mind their own business, that because they live in the area, they've got this stink on them because the area is, in some cases, some of the people out there are rotten. But does that mean the entire county is? I just don't believe it. I believe they are suffering from a drug epidemic. I believe that some people have alcohol issues out there. I believe that, in small towns like that, even officials can be sucked into a bad element. And when you have a small county, your pickings for different positions are slim, right? It's really people that have the money to be voted in. And I think that comes back to that that one government official that was indicted in April. So, good morning, Karen. I think there are more players than we think. It's possible. It's possible. I keep asking myself, I just don't see. I don't know how to explain it. I don't see people putting their neck out. I mean, we're all here, and even my best friend. We talked about my best friend. I think it was yesterday or the day before. She is my ride or die. I love my best friend. We've been through a lot in our years of being friends, and an awful lot. We will not go there. But I don't see myself ever coming to help her for something like this. I mean, the one person that she can rely on for anything and everything, just like me, the one person I can rely on is her whenever I need, something. Whenever I need something major, I know she'll be there for me. Just likewise for me. Something major happened, I would drop everything and be there. And I just don't see her helping me out with something like this. And I don't see her, me helping her out with something like this. And she's my best friend, my ride or die. So it makes me wonder who in the world would help with, out of all the things, something like this. Who? Unless you had some mega money, and these people needed that money. That's the only thing. But Don doesn't have mega money like that. He was too busy smoking it up. So, he wasn't, despite what many people think, he's not a kingpin up there. He's just a bottom feeder with a drug problem. That's really it. So, yeah. Well, there was a lot of trafficking indictments back in April. There's a lot of them. I think, let's see what this, I think the 3 wells, I think drug community trafficking. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not into, when I know that there is the whole CT trafficking type of scenario, but I just don't see, when you study this and you really look at the statistics, you find that is, I'm not saying it's not with little children. Just don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to get into a fight, but I'm talking about the majority. The majority are, teenagers, runaways, and adults with problems, the drug problems that get in with somebody that they think loves them and turns them and stuff like that. But the little kids, yes, there's an element there, and we know because we hear about the computer stuff and law enforcement cracking down. It is happening, but not like, I don't think it's more stranger danger. I think it's their family that's doing it to them, as opposed to somebody, an abduction type of theory and then them being trafficked into that environment. I don't know. Again, I could be absolutely 100% wrong about that, but from what I saw, and even like when we went to South Carolina, we were looking into that aspect. And, they said it was the capital of the world. And when we went there and talked to people, we realized that there was only 19 cases. Now, granted, 19 cases is a lot of cases. We don't want anybody in this environment. But out of that 19 cases, the majority of them were adult individuals. So, just to give you guys some clarification on that. Does that mean it's everywhere that's the statistics and the makeup everywhere? No, it's not. And it was just one place I checked, which was South Carolina, Myrtle Beach specifically. And I heard all those things. And so I checked into it and come to find out it was mostly adult women. And it was a total of 19 cases, I believe, in 2021 that had happened in Myrtle Beach that they found. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that people aren't caught with. So I want to make sure that that's also stated. Dream big. Nice to see you. It's everywhere. Yes, it is. It is. To me, there's a lot of peas around Ben Hill. That's what it seems. I have to say. And I think what attracts these people to that area, it just my opinion, and it's just off the top of my head as I'm talking to you guys and thinking about it. It could very well be because it's a cheap place to live, right? So people, especially all over this country, are trying to find affordable places to live. And when you have you've been convicted of something like that or anything, it's hard to find rentals. It's hard to find this. It's hard to find that. You go find a new place to live out in the country where it's poorer and it's cheaper, you'll probably be able to fit right in. And that might be the attraction to that area for these type of people. But what I'm also finding out is a lot of these people that are dealing with these serious charges were homegrown. They've lived in that area their whole life. You know, who's teaching these people this kind of conduct out in that area? I don't know. Yeah, potentially. Okie Bree, nice to see you. Oh, listening from the car. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good. Like to hear it. Flower Power. I love that name. I say that a lot when I'm with my bestie. When I'm with a bestie. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you believe a grand jury was impaneled on June 1st? Do you believe the indictments that people are thinking that are going around right now? Are those from April or those from June? Do you believe that there's going to be another grand jury impaneled on August 15th? Does it seem to, oh, thank you, Emma. Love you too, girlfriend. Do you think it's going to, what do you think is going to happen? And when do you think it's going to happen? Like right now, I don't think they are ready for a grand jury just yet. A secret grand jury. Interesting. And they do have those. They do have those. But do you think it's easy or hard to do a secret grand jury in such a small town? Honey Bean, good morning. Good morning. What I don't understand is why is Andrew going? I just heard when Benny Keys brought that up, I went in there, somebody sent me a clip of the chat, and so I looked into it, and I'm like, oh, that's not Andrew's name. Or, you know, Andrew, he's been in here, and that wasn't the name that he used in this chat. He didn't use that in this chat for some reason. He used a different name. And so, oh, Lolo, nice to see you. Yes, you have a blessed day too. Could be a couple months more. But anyways, getting back to Andrew, I'm sitting there, you know, and I thought, oh, maybe they're just trying to, you know, cause a little more stir or whatever. But then I heard a video with Andrew on it. And Andrew actually said he's coming to the candlelight vigil. And he's going to spend some time with his son. So he's kind of, he has an opportunity to do both. Is he going to 125 Ben Hill Road? It makes me wonder. Is he? Did he just do that to trigger some people? Was that a, you know, we do know that he said on Benny's live that he's definitely coming. So we know he's going to be there, or, you know, we assume he'll be at the, you know, the sheriff's office vigil. He could very well go to another vigil and it wouldn't even be anything associated. I would like to meet him, to be honest with you. Personally, I would personally like to meet Andrew and say hi to him and see what, what's what. So I'm definitely kind of excited. And not only that, people are like, why are you being so excited about this candle? Because a lot of people did a lot of hard work and have expended a lot of money to make this event beautiful. And it's just one of those things where I'm excited because I'm ready for the day to come. And I'm hoping that it'll be a nice event for summer and law enforcement. And I'm kind of excited that, the fruits of everyone's labor will be realized. So I'm excited to put faces to names. A lot of us have been talking on the phone or, seeing each other online, but never had an opportunity to meet each other in person or get each other's, vibe. When you meet somebody in person, it's a lot different than meeting somebody through the internet or meeting somebody over the phone. So I'm really kind of excited to meet, a lot of lovely people that all are coming together for summer. It's nice. I think that's sweet. I think it's one of the sweetest things we can do, quite frankly. Oh, what? No, Axel, I didn't even, maybe you're not on here. I don't really watch the chat that much, and it goes so much that things just pop up. So let me go back. No, I'm not ignoring you. Let me go back and see what you said. Sometimes it just pops right up. I'm thinking blackout, ? Drug indicted. I don't know. Hopefully that's your question. But I don't know. I don't know. What does this say? Rhonda Codal says, Team Rose reminds me of Scotch. Amber said, Max, people were always on the property. I don't know what happened to Scott, but he hasn't been on in a while. You know what? And that's another weird thing to me, too, is have you noticed how quiet everything is? Everybody is so quiet. Don's not writing people. He's not really communicating with people. Candace has stopped communicating with people. We don't really hear from Allie or Hunter. Everybody's just almost too quiet. It's almost too quiet. And it's concerning me because it kind of gives me the feeling like there's something heating up we're not seeing. And I could very well be wrong. But it sounds like something's heating up because of the silence. The silence, I think, is almost deafening for many of us. I'm not sure. I know there were some other things, and I was reading through. There were some text messages I got, and I can't remember who they were. Was that from our group here? Oh, it was on my email. Somebody sent me those text messages. Thank you, by the way. I know who you are. You're in the room right now, so thank you. But there was a lot of information. I'm gonna have to do something with those messages, and I appreciate the person that did send those to me. There was quite a few of them there, but I did read them, and they were very, very interesting. I'm gonna do something with them. Not sure what, but it's definitely something. And it's about, and then of course there was some stuff about Don's sisters on here. It makes you wonder why, and I think the point is why is have you noticed that none of Don or Candace's family has come to have their back? Like they have not stood next to them. They have not stuck up for them. They have not come out in public and say how their family is grieving and how people have been unfair to their wonderful, brother and sister-in-law and things like that. Does anybody find that odd? Because I'm telling you, if I was going through something like this, my entire family would be surrounding me. Like this whole house would be people would just be in this house all day, every day, working around the clock on their phones, coordinating searches, coordinating this, doing this, getting the information out. If and I'm sure many of your families are similar. If something like this happened, our families would be here with us dealing with family stuff. Nothing like that has happened for the Wells, which brings me back to the video that I never posted of when I was with my cousin and my aunt for the reception. What was it, a couple weeks ago? It was on May 21st. May 21st, I went out and I sat there and I did a video, and I never posted the video, but it basically said, I'm sitting here with my family and we're having a great time. We're sitting around in a small living room, setting up chairs all around. Everybody's talking over everybody. Everybody's talking loud. It's echoing, but it's one of the most beautiful sounds you heard. You can't hear the person sitting next to you, but you can hear the conversation across the room. It's insane, right? But it was a beautiful noise of the family coming together and us just having an enjoyable time. My nephew running around, picking up grapes, like he's got 3 plates. Everybody's like, no, one plate. But he just loved grabbing everything and making plates, and he wanted to go hand everybody a plate. It was a beautiful, it was so nothing special needed to be there except us. And, it's just that's what Summer never really got. She never got that, in my opinion. So Linda says, from what I heard from a channel, they're not allowed to speak to anyone or speak to no one at all. They're like under a gag order or something like that. Just what I heard. I don't know, in my opinion only. There is a gag order. But it's for the case with the boys. Not necessarily the Summer Wells case. I don't think there's a gag order on the Summer Wells case. There might be, but there's no case there for a judge to rule a gag order on. So I'm not sure. I agree with you that I think there's multiple cases here. So they've got, and let's just break them down. So I think that the way it works is that when the children were removed from their custody, when the Department of Children's Services removed them from their custody, most likely there had to have been a case open because a judge needs to order the child's removal or children's removal in this case. So that would be, and I'm sure that when they got here and they realized all the developments that were going on in and around this, especially July, I think July at this point, in my humble opinion, I think the FBI and TBI were probably pretty sure that the story that they were giving, the Wells were giving, didn't add up. And they were probably concerned for the safety of those children. This is just my opinion. Okay, I've got no facts to substantiate this. This is just speculative in nature. But that there was a case open because a judge would have had to order the removal of those children. And so that would be a case. I believe shortly after that, there was a gag order put on them because I really, truly believe those kids were removed to find out what happened to baby Summer Wells. That's just my opinion. I believe it was because they felt those children were in danger, especially if they may have known some pivotal information about the disappearance of Summer Wells. They could very well have been in danger. They did not want to take the chance. They had enough to get those boys out of that house, and they did. I think that the gag order was immediately put on everybody in that particular case. But I think there's 2 different cases. You got the Department of Children's Service case that has a gag order and is confidential and away from the light of the public. And then they also have the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells. And that one, there is no gag order on because it hasn't gone to a judge yet. And there's nothing to go to a judge with yet until they have a case or somebody's charged. So I think there's differences. Is he offline? I haven't watched him, Team Rose. I'm interested in that. Is he off YouTube? Dysfunctional family. I think that's an understatement. I mean, a lot of people's families are dysfunctional. I mean, let's be honest. This is the United States of America. There's a lot of dysfunction here. But to what degree? There's slightly dysfunctional and there's majorly dysfunctional. This is a majorly dysfunctional family. I mean, both sides of this family tree has SA associated with almost every generation. Have you guys noticed that? It makes me sick to my stomach to think about it, honestly. That is very interesting. It's very interesting. And it makes me wonder. Actually, it proves a couple things. People kept trying to say that they did not lawyer up. Yes, they did. I think everybody realizes at this point, as soon as to me, I mean, I had my opinions going down there, and we had our opinions and all the possibilities that could have happened to baby Summer before we went down there on our first trip in December. And we were going down there to either prove or disprove these theories, these 4 theories, abduction theory, stranger danger, or targeted, wandering off, and foul play, right? Those are pretty much the 4 main groups that this case could fall into, in my opinion. Now, there might be others. Those are the 4, to the best of my knowledge, that this case would fall into. And from out the gate, Don kind of took the reins of this media guy. He had all the answers to everything. But Candace, after Don went away, was all on everything. She was everywhere. You couldn't shut her up. Any chance she had an opportunity to go on a YouTube or hang out with people, she did. She was at home, alone, and lonely. And so she was trying to kill some time. But people kept saying that she was lawyering up. And getting back to March 1st, where Ronnie Lawson, I think that was the first time we realized specifically they must have been looking into the wells, because at this point on March 1st, this is 9 months, a little less than 9 months after Summer Wells disappeared, we finally had law enforcement telling us that the Wells truly are not cooperating and they have lawyered up. We heard 3 days prior to that. So it was like February 27th or 28th. She was on Predator Nation on his live panel talking about these gag orders and how her attorney has got this stuff. So she acknowledged having an attorney. Then we wonder, well, what do you mean by lawyering up? Well, then Detective Pruitt comes out and states that, a lot of the stuff that's bleeding over from the boys' case is now bleeding into the Summer Wells case. What does that mean? What does that mean? Could that mean that the boys are now witnesses against their parents? And that's why it's bleeding over into the Summer Wells case? Are we getting closer than we were? Are they trying to throw everybody off by saying that we're the exact same place that we were? I don't believe. Let's do a show of hands. Let's do a show of hands. I know I'm behind a little bit. Let's do, or not a show of hands. Let's do a number 1. Who honestly believes that law enforcement is exactly where they were at the beginning of this case? If you truly believe, before you start hitting the buttons, let me finish. So if you believe that we have no new information as we did day 1, hit 1, if you truly believe that law enforcement has a lot more information than they're telling the public, hit number 2. Still waiting for some. There we go. So I mean, with all so we do have some that still believe. Honestly, I believe they're trying to throw knuckle. Okay, so we got, we're trying to throw knuckleballs because it has so much attention. It's possible. Yes, guidance. I believe that too. Yeah. So I believe, so the consensus is that they most likely have a heck of a lot more information than we originally thought. So that's good. That's good. and just for everybody to see guidance response. And I believe, I have a funny feeling that that very well may be the case as well. Yeah. What do you mean? He's gone. Okay, I think. Oops, hold on. So I hit the wrong one. Don't forget he's an agent. I think she was sold or accidentally died, but I believe she is with God, or she was very ill and sold. Yeah. She didn't look very well. I mean, when we look at the photos that they first originally put out for Summer Wells, and we look at the photos, what she looked like, before she left, or before she disappeared, rather, she did not look healthy. She looked like and I keep saying it, and to me, she looked like a cancer patient. She really did. Yeah, exactly. I think they came out with that because they thought maybe, because of the age, his stepsister was 5 years old. Summer was 5 years old. So I think it scared her. And from what I heard, they didn't even know that he had a daughter. How does your sisters not know you have a daughter? Did he hide the fact that he had a daughter from his family because those allegations would have came out sooner? It's possible, Lolo. It's possible. Ooh. Interesting. Yes, Linda, if you have the link to that, I want it. Because if there is a gag order, something's brouhaha. There's a brouhaha going on. I'm telling you. I'm interested in that. If you can send me that, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, Linda. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you can find that link, send that to me. I would like to hear that. That is huge. That's a step in the right direction, folks. If everybody now has a gag order on them, folks, that is an amazing step in the right direction. It says more than you guys could know. We will break it down. I would love to have that link, Linda. Love it. You would think if the parents were involved, they would have been arrested already. Definitely not saying they're innocent at all. Not necessarily. I mean, we have to look at past cases. Look at the West parents. They were able to run for over 14 months, and actually longer than that, because it was 3 months prior to them actually reporting their boys missing. 3 months before that was when they actually went missing. So if you really wanted, they were on the run for 17 months before they ever saw the first handcuff. So no, definitely, I understand your point, but I don't. Yes, I believe they should be, but that doesn't necessarily mean it happens that way. Could you see by each pic her health was deteriorating? You know what? I have not put the photos together, but I bet you that would be an amazing video of somebody putting something like that together to show her just going from this bright, beautiful child into almost a hollow shell, right? Might show us a little more than that, because what would make a little girl become a hollow shell? That's what I said from the very beginning. They tried to make it off that she wanted to be a tomboy, and I said, why don't you just quit acting like that and just tell them that you're a cheap a-hole and that you shaved her head because she had lice. That house was filthy. Does it surprise anybody that the house is filled with lice? And not only that, shaving the head did nothing for them, because they still, I guarantee, Candace didn't wash all the sheets, all the blankets. She didn't throw her pillows from the couch and the dryer, do all the things or wrap it all up in big garbage bags for 2 weeks, all the things that we do that we were told to do to get rid of that. I don't see Candace doing that. I don't see anybody in that house doing that. So why shave her head if you're not going to do anything about the house? Because you're just going to keep reinfecting. Yeah, but do we really believe that his sisters? I mean, everybody keeps trying to say that, somebody came along and tried to save her from that home. Why not the boys? Why just one person? It doesn't ring true to me. I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah. I think they hid his daughter because I don't know. I'm not it's possible, but I'm just not in that realm. I think if there's any evidence of that, I mean, they've got phone records, they've got the pings, I think people, and I could be looking in the wrong avenues, but I think when we're talking about the SA and ST and all this other stuff, I just don't think that. I just don't think that comes into play with this case. I just don't. There's just something in me that just does not believe that that's this case, because if it was, they would have been able to follow the transaction, so to speak. And there's nothing. There's nothing. It's almost as if a UFO beamed poor baby Summer up. That's what it seems. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And let's see where we are. I hate when this thing pushes up too far, but it did, and I missed all these. There we go. Did he record? So we'll have to look at that. Supposedly, from what I heard, it took Hunter's dad off YouTube, but I don't really know. My opinion, just what I heard. Yeah, I understand that. He was in BK's live last night in the beginning. Yeah, that was the clip I heard where he's saying he's coming down. He's going to visit with his son and go to the vigil. So he's coming from New York. I mean, I appreciate people. I mean, there's people coming all over the United States to Rogersville, Tennessee, and all in for just to honor this baby girl. It just melts my heart. It really does. I am floored. Not only that he said that he described almost in detail what he thought happened to his own freaking daughter and didn't shed a tear, didn't break down, just matter of fact. It was, I was disgusted. I was offended. I don't know. Like I'm still floored. And who was it? It was Crime Stories Obsessed. Emma with Crime Stories Obsessed found the clip and ran it on her channel. And I heard it while I was watching her channel. And I'm telling you, I was like, how could he? I don't know any man that could be talking about what could have happened to their missing 5-year-old daughter in that degree and not just have tears flooding down their face. Men are strong. They're taught not to cry, but even the strongest men break when it breaks their heart. When their heart is broken, it's uncontrollable. It's not something that you can. I'm sorry. I've seen grown men cry when it comes to their children. And I've got nothing from him. Nothing. And he thinks these horrible things could have happened to his daughter and still emotionless. No emotion. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Little Dave, nice to see you. Well, he may not be under, the gag orders have to be very specific. He was not in and around. He's just the father of a witness. So I don't know if that gag order stretches to him, to be honest with you. I don't know. It could very well, but that might be why he's talking about certain things, but not other certain things, because the other certain things would get his son in trouble. But I have a funny feeling, I don't see a gag order stretching to him. But again, it could. I don't know. Unless you get an order from a judge with your name on it, you're not included in that. I mean, I'm pretty sure if specificity is the name of the law. You have to be very specific. You can't just bring everybody under the sun into a gag order. It has to be very specific and for very specific reasons. Would he have information, evidentiary value in this case, Andrew himself? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we still need to figure out what we're going to do with a projector. I need to call a few of the people that are going to be attending. Good morning, Angel, that are going to be attending the vigil, and see if we can get, because that projector is important. That's going to be so we have to figure that out. Yeah. Okay, so guys, there are a lot of people in here, 300 to be exact at this moment. If you guys can go out and don't forget to hit the like button, I greatly appreciate it. Excuse me. I wish that there was a case, but sadly, I don't think someone came in to save her from the life she had. And and you know what? That's what I believe. And I also believe, and what's crazy is that Don addressed this himself. He said, nobody came here to save her from her home. And it's like, why would you think somebody would need to do that? Unless your home was just despicable. I mean, can you imagine? I don't know what I would do if I was raised in a home like that. I guess if that's the way I was raised from childhood, would I know the difference that that's not the way normal people live? I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I really don't. I know, it's sad. I think the reason why it took so long to remove the boys is I think they had to build the case for the judge and have the judge order it, because, CPS, believe it or not, has certain restrictions. But to me, the condition of that home and the condition of the inside and the outside of that home should have been enough for immediate removal when they were on scene, but they may have been wanting to dot their I's and cross their T's for legality purposes, because this was becoming a national story, right? So they may have wanted to make sure that judge ordered the removal, so there would not be any repercussions of the removal if they had went ahead and did it themselves. So they may have had to go through the whole legal process of presenting their case to a judge and having a judge order those children removed. We don't know. Why do we not know? Because this particular part of the case is confidential, and all the people that are involved with this portion of the case related to the boys is under a gag order. And it sounds right now that everybody else is under a gag order as well. And if that's the case, there's more going on there than we know. I don't think so. I really don't. But it is peculiar that they didn't have a birthday for her in February. They didn't have a birthday. All they had was photos, old photos of her and a happy birthday on the, social media. Could it be another situation like the West's? That would be, can you imagine if it was something like the West? That would be mind blowing. If we found out she had been gone for months. Like, that means everybody is in a lot of trouble. Like, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. I know that there's still a lot of people still chatting in here and about the case, but I just want to get your, so related, and we're going to keep it just very, everybody's going to have, I got to keep you guys logged because we had a lot of people call in yesterday and I couldn't get to all of them. So we're going to try to make a 5-minute minimum or maximum on the phone calls, but I would like to hear your thoughts. Do you think that a grand jury actually convened on June 1st? Or do you think this is misinformation? I'm curious about your thoughts. Let me get this down. Oops. There we go. Do I have these open? Let's see if I got the phone lines open yet. Hold on. There we go. Device. So if you guys want to call in and tell me your thoughts on whether you believe that a grand jury was impaneled on June 1st, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Anything related to the grand jury, even back in April, what you think is going on with the Wells currently. Interested in your feedback, interested in your perspective. All right, what do we got? I think Summer heard them talking about selling her. Summons goes out to the grand jury for multiple panels. That's interesting. Yeah. Dream big. He said he was staying at 115 Ben Hill. Weird. Yeah. No jury. Isn't that public knowledge? No jury. Yep. I think so. Mike. Good morning, by the way. Truth Seeker. Candace never said anything besides a mumble when she called BK. Let's read this one. Some woman got the phone and said that it wasn't Candace's phone anymore. It was Deborah's. So now Deborah has the phone. Well, that tells you that she's probably not with that Cindy Clayton. Grand jury is secret, but not always. Not always, little Dave, because if you recall, people started calling into the news when they got their paperwork to appear for the grand jury in April 2022. And they actually had an article about it in the news in that area. And I actually think WJHL actually did a news broadcast related to the same thing. I know. Because they're lazy. They go to work, get their paycheck, and come home and use and abuse. Good question. That is a great question. I actually pondered that question. I'm curious myself. I actually said that, but I figured if she was in custody, it would literally be all plastered all over the news. Possibly, I'm not sure. Let's see who we got. Who we got? This is Betty.
Hey, this is ZZT again.
Hey, ZZT.
I'll make it short.
Yeah.
The grand jury, when they impanel juries for the grand jury, they send out hundreds of summonses because it's federal, and they choose, just like they do countywide, they choose several juries for several cases that will be seen or impaneled during that month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. So I'm thinking there is a grand jury set, because it's been very suspicious, just like you brought up a few minutes ago. Candace's phone is now Deborah's phone. I'm thinking either Candace is in some type of custody or in a safe house.
Interesting.
Because maybe she decided to turn state's evidence. I don't know. Has anyone actually seen Candace physically?
No.
In the last,
even when Don B went over to Cynthia Clayton's house, she didn't come out. She called, obviously, I think she called the law on Don B, and but she did confirm that Candace was there, but nobody saw Candace, and we haven't seen or heard Candace online in a really long time. We only heard about that text message she sent out to some of the YouTube creators that she was ready to end it all.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking she's in a safe house.
Well, she's definitely being protected by somebody, because I don't see her being able to control herself enough to stay off YouTube, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had to say. I've got to get packed and get ready to travel in a couple of hours. So,
well, you have safe travels.
I'll talk to you on another day.
You got it. Right? Take care. Drive safely.
Good work, honey.
Will do.
Love
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye. Got fans that love me. I love it. I love it. Spread the love. Spread the love. Love it. Love it. Love it. Such a sweet voice too, huh? You never know what some of these people, you hear their messages, but you never get to hear their voice until they call in. And it's like, oh, she sounds so sweet. Good mama. I'm that bitchin' mama bear. Love it. Love it. She has a friend in Chattanooga named Debbie, or AKA Deborah. Good information. So she might actually still be in Tennessee. I was wondering, we kept hearing all kinds of stuff, but we leave it to YouTube streets, and YouTube does not always come back with the right answer. And I was hearing she was in Georgia. Chattanooga? I mean, she's still in TN. That's a good question. Do not know, but I know she rocked the boat when she came out and said her piece. Do you guys think, let me ask you this. Do you guys think that Grandis came out on March 1st to talk about this nap she had to distance herself from something that could have happened from the time she went to sleep to the time she woke up? Was that distancing language? Is that the reason why she threw the monkey wrench into the script? Was because she realized it's getting too hot and she needs to back up? She needs to distance herself? Good morning, Red. Alley Cat. Devil went to Georgia. And Alley Cat, to be honest with you, I've been having call-ins. We've had panels. I've been sharing the link, and I found that, people were a little apprehensive about coming up on panel as opposed to calling. So, when you see creators that are doing good things and, it's helping them and they're getting more people that are, being involved, then it's definitely, and I don't think it's a bad thing. So he does very well in his. So I've been having people been putting links out for a while, but I haven't had as much interaction with the audience until they had the opportunity to call in without having their face on the panel. So I mean, it's not to be like Dolly, of course not. But if there is something that gets the audience more involved and it's working, why not? I know, right? I can tell you my entire show is polar opposite from Dolly. Dolly has his own personality. He has his own following. It's great. I adore him. I think he's funny. I think he's sweet. Good morning, White Rabbit. Nice to see you there. it's good. I have to admit, I'm convinced. Oh, let me go back here. The Real Gypsy Soul. Let's put your soul there. I hope not. But I think it's going to be hard for this case to go cold when so many people are keeping her name out there and keeping her name alive. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why we're doing it, is because we realize that this is that close to being a cold case. Do we know that 100%? We don't, because law enforcement doesn't tell us what they're doing or what they have. But when you start hearing Andrew come on saying his son may have a gag order, that is what we want to hear. That means this case is moving forward, folks. That means there's something going on behind the scenes. That's what we want to hear. That is truly what we want to hear. Oh, she got a shot. She got pain shots. You know how more groggy you'd be once you get those shots. And I don't know what she got. I heard through the street, which, if you hear something, you gotta, weigh whether the information is accurate or not, especially when you hear it on YouTube. But I heard on YouTube that she actually had morphine. So I'm interested in that, what drug she was on. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. This is Sharon from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, it's nice to have you on. It's nice to finally hear your voice, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm a new member, and I just wanted to mention about Grandis and her Knapp news story.
Yeah.
And I really think that someone advised her to say that, to opt out. It never occurred to her before to say that.
Yeah.
And there's only one reason why someone would come up with a new story at this point, and that is, like you say, to excuse themselves from the situation.
Yeah.
And who's going to contest that she was napping or not? No one can prove it.
Right.
So
the only way it would be proven if she said she had a nap from 1 to 3, and they checked her phone records and realized she was on the phone talking to a friend from that time. I mean, that's it.
True.
Other than that, that would be the only way. So if she didn't use the phone very much or didn't talk to people, and even if she didn't take a nap, there would be, you're right, hard to prove.
That's right. And there's so many people in Canada who are aware of Summer's story, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, I love Tennessee. It's like one of my favorite states that I used to go to growing up. And just to see how different things seem on Ben Hill Road to how I'm used to seeing, family life, it was really shocking. I've never seen anything like that with all the detail, for us to see. So I feel so sorry for those kids and what they went through. And, there are a lot of people in Canada who are interested in the case and following it and supporting creators who follow the Summer Wells case. Yeah. So thank you for all you do.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you a question, because I'm not familiar with Canada law. Don't know anything about it. If a case like this happened, in one of the territories there, do you feel that the parents, like the low-hanging fruit we talk about on this channel, about the other stuff like the child endangerment, child neglect, do you think that these parents would be in jail if they were in Canada right now?
I'm not sure about if they would be in jail, but I believe the children would have been removed much sooner. In that case, if it was in one of the provinces here, she never would have disappeared. She would have been already taken into another family home.
Wow. Yeah.
But the laws are pretty strict here, thankfully. I think we have a great, justice system, legal system. But, it's really hard to answer that question about if they would be in jail.
Yeah.
I would like to think so.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny because, with the condition of the house, like here in Florida, you have your children living like that, you go to jail. Like they don't play. You don't even have to be injured. You don't have to be, living just in those conditions, having that house and that here in Florida, they don't play. You got to have a safe home environment for your children. They would have been in jail.
Yeah, and I've always said from the very beginning that, you know, it's such a shame that if the, you know, child services did go in, you know, earlier, that they would have had to have seen that there was issues, the kids being left on their own, you know, the condition of the house, the drug, but all the arrest records for them. Just they had to have known something was going on. So it really shocks me that the children weren't removed prior to that.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they don't have a better communication like law enforcement with the Department of Children's Services there, because it seems like the multiple times they've been at that property that there should have been a referral from the law enforcement agency over to the Children's Services saying, you know, there's something going on here that you guys may need to investigate or look into. You would have thought that would have happened back in 2020 when they had that huge brawl out there at their house with when Jose was there and Grandis. It was them fighting from the front yard in the house into Grandis's camper. Children are all up. They're all out there crying. You can hear the children in the background as Candace is calling in law enforcement. You can hear poor, you know, baby Summer's sweet little voice asking her mom what's going on. And, you know, obviously that to me seems like that at that point, if nothing else, at that point, something should have been referred over to the Department of Children's Services to look into this case. And if there was, and they failed to look, but I have a funny feeling it wasn't like that. I have a funny feeling law enforcement never called, never made the referral, never said, hey, we got a problem over here.
Yeah, somebody dropped the ball. And I've always said that somebody at the Child Protective Services are in trouble. And other people say it's understaffed, you know, they're doing their best. No, that's not good enough. In Canada, it takes one person from Child Protective Services to make a decision to remove the children. It doesn't have to go to a tribunal. There is no wait. Yeah,
well, here in Florida, in some cases, unless there's egregious circumstances or imminent danger, a judge needs to sign off. But I would think with a baby missing out of the home and their environment and them doing the background and realizing how violent these parents are, that should have been more than enough to state that there was imminent danger without the need to go through the court process. But who knows why it took so long for them to finally get those children. I'm wondering if that's when they finally realized that the parents, you know, everything was kind of looking at the parents and they're saying, you know, before we start proceeding any further, we need to make sure these boys are safe. We've got to get them out of the home.
That's right.
You know, it's possible, but we won't know until this case is going to trial. We will not know the full evidence, what really transpired, what they really truly believe transpired. So we're just all sitting here, you know, speculating until we hear some, reality, until we hear facts from law enforcement, which we're not going to hear for some time.
But Andrew, it could be like the Chris Watts case that it doesn't go to trial and we'll never know. If there's a plea deal or, you know, some circumstance, we might never know the truth.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling about that.
Yeah, but there are cases that have taken years to put together, and it takes somebody finally going back with fresh eyes to some of these cases and opening them up. And sometimes the things that were sitting right in front of their face the whole time wasn't jumping out at them, but because a new person grabbed this file and looked at it with fresh eyes, that one element popped out at them. And were able to do the conviction. I think one of them, a lady, was arrested 30 years after her son disappeared. She only got 23 months in jail, but she finally confessed that they have enough evidence against her to take her to court.
Wow, 30 years is a long time.
Yeah, 30 years. But, you know, again, just because it doesn't happen in our time doesn't mean it's not happening. So Chris Watts' case, just because there's no charges yet, doesn't mean that there's not going to be no charges, you know, for the case.
I hear you. Yeah.
So
well, I don't want to take up more than my 5 minutes, but just wanted to say thank you and good luck on the 15th and hope everything goes well.
Me too. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's such lovely callers this morning. I love it. I love it. Let's see what Axel has to say here. Everything we were thinking about the police already have. Like the Delphi case, the police are being quiet. I don't think that's a good thing. Interesting. I always find when things start slowing down and things get almost too quiet, I always think that there's something brewing. Hey, 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 Betty.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi, Betty. This is Jessica from upstate New York.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Fine. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in here.
Good, good. Let us know your thoughts.
Say I'm Candace up here in upstate New York. The CPS walks into my home.
Yeah.
Just into my yard. Those kids are gone.
Yeah.
They are gone.
Yeah.
Up here, they are gone. They don't mess around. With her past history and the way she was with her other kids, her first child, Josie, gone, buddy.
Yeah.
Gone. We don't mess around up here, bud. Our kids are our life. And, you know, they are our future.
Yeah. And you know what? Many people don't know. And if you haven't, this is a shout out to get everybody to go over to Jonathan Lee Rich's page and watch it.
I'm already there.
John Walsh. John Walsh's daughter is going through this right now. John Walsh is trying to take his daughter Megan's children from her. She just had a baby 7 days ago, and 5 days after her daughter was born, or her child, I shouldn't say daughter, I can't remember if it was a boy or girl. After her child, I think it's a girl. After her child was born, they kicked in her door and removed a brand new baby 5 days old from their mother. And I am just, I can't imagine. Like, the house looks clean. I can't see the abuse on the children. There's either somebody's lying in that case, or somebody's really good at covering up something, because I just can't. I can't figure out how in the world they would have enough evidence to go kick in her door to take a 5-day-old child away from their mother that is nursing them, that has done nothing, no allegations of abuse to that child, nothing, and a court order allowed, not a knock. Like, you got a brand new baby in a house, and you would think that they would want to knock and say, hey, you know, I'm here, do it amicably. But to bust in a freaking door with a 5-day-old baby, that is that to me is sickening. That is, you know, I wish her the best. I don't know whether the allegations are accurate or not. It doesn't appear that what is being said is fully accurate or fully paints a picture.
Not at all.
For Megan. So it's very sad seeing this go on, and I have a funny feeling, as she has been absolved of any wrongdoing, John better watch out, because there is going to be one hell of a civil suit.
Oh, heck yeah.
Snatching a 5-day-old, that is just that. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I would be ready to come unglued.
Oh yeah, I shake. But I just wanted to let you know you are awesome. Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, love.
You are awesome. I've been watching you since Gabby.
Oh, great.
And you caught my attention with your bullhorn out there in front of that house, yelling at those parents. Where is Gabby? You had me then.
Yep.
So
you do what you do when you think it's right. It's not something like that. I have to be honest with you. The bullhorn is truly a last resort. Yes, my name's Bullhorn Betty. Yes, I got a name from having a bullhorn and screaming at people, but that truly is.
You got her attention.
Yeah, that is the last resort. And at the end of the day, it kept her face in the news. It kept her being a top news cycle. Nobody was going to forget that woman that lost her life to the hands of her boyfriend. Nobody would forget her. Nobody has forgotten her, and now they're making movies about it. So
you're damn right.
I did my job.
And nobody's going to forget about Summer either.
Yep. So,
but I will tell you that on the 15th, my family up here in upstate New York will be singing about you guys.
Thank you.
And praying for Summer.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Just a lot of goodness. I love this. There's a lot of goodness, a lot of positivity today. I love it. I love it. This is what I'm talking about. We're setting the tone for the rest of our day, folks. I am going to end that on a happy note. thank you all. We're at the top of our 2 hours. I want to thank everybody that has been here and that has participated. You guys are amazing people. You are what makes this channel grow and what makes this channel get out there. But again, just to clear everybody's mind, I truly do not believe there is a grand jury that went on, whether or not it was about Don or Candace. I do not believe a grand jury went on June 1st, because history doesn't say that they have this many grand juries in 1 year, first and foremost. Secondly, you know, the grand jury information that was read on somebody else's page was from the grand jury that happened back in April. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We're monitoring it. I promise you. Everybody under the sun is monitoring whether the grand jury is being impaneled. As soon as we find out any information related to Candace or Don, we're going to let you know, because we are following this case. When we got into this case, you know, a lot of our cases, when we got into as a team, when we collaborated and went to places, we went out there and did the case, you know, got the information, turned over what we were able to find over to law enforcement, and we got out. You know, we didn't make a second trip back there. You know, we got as much information as we could with the time that we had. This is a case that has really sucked me in. Not only have I been out there 2 major trips, collaborating with other creators, but I've gone out there multiple times individually as well for this case. This is the one case that we have not given up on, because it needs so much attention and so much help. You know, there could be a million people that could have done something like this, but the problem I'm having, and the one thing I can't get off of, is if it was anybody else, why have the parents acted the way that they have acted? Why is their behavior so different from that of parents that love and care for their children that are missing? They have done no searches. They have done nothing that benefits Summer Wells or finding her or finding where she went. It's all been chaos and craziness that has surrounded the Wells, Don Wells and Candace Bly, from out the gate. They bring that themselves. They have turned that. Everybody wants to point the finger at YouTube. And I have to agree with Molly Golightly. The parents have turned this into a circus. With all their pranks and all their jokes and them not taking the disappearance of their daughter seriously. They're the ones that have turned this case into a joke. They are. They thought people on YouTube were stupid. The majority of people on YouTube did not buy into the story they were selling, because it was filled with holes. And I'm one of those people. Many people that come here every morning, 335 people, the majority of the people that are here right now, do not believe their story. Were never sold on their story out the gate. Amen, Beverly. Amen. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, our 2 hours is over. I had a great time with you. Please come back tomorrow. We're going to take a dive into whether we believe Candace and Grandis and Summer went back to the water hole a second time. That's what we're going to be discussing tomorrow morning. So, guys, please tune back in tomorrow morning. We will be live about the same time, about 7 o'clock. And we're going to just go through it. I'm interested in what your opinions are. We are going to go through this timeline. We are going to plug this hole. And hopefully, we're going to have Michelle on this channel in the near future to discuss an interview she had with Don. I am super excited. I still haven't worked it out. I've got to call her. Cher, if you're up, I'm calling you. Calling you. All right, guys, I love you. God bless you. Go make it a great day. Happy hump day as you slide into your week. And don't forget to be fearless, folks. Love you, and God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.